Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Guru TFJ. On my channel, you'll find pure cinema, comedy, reviews, and more. Today I'm going to be going through my top 4 decades in the history of film, so that's based partly on my Reviewed by Decade series and overall viewing experience. D'accord, let's begin. The 4th best decade in the history of cinema, in my humble opinion, is the 2010s. The best film from that decade would be Headhunters from 2011, directed by Morton Tilden. My review for that is available on Letterboxd. 2010's films reviewed in the series, Senna and Gravity. Key films from the decade: The Grand Budapest Hotel, Whiplash, Headhunters, Gone Girl, La La Land, Seven Psychopaths, War Dogs, Dude, as in War Dogs Dude, in joke, Creep and Creep 2. Why it's number 4. Some of my favourites, aforementioned, overall, were released in this decade. It definitely deserves a shout out. Lots of colourful, big budget, vibrant films made in that decade also. Number 3, 3rd best decade in the history of film, the 1990s. Best film being John Malkovich from 1999, directed by Spike Jonze, reviewed in my Reviewed by Decade series. 1990s reviews in the series: Forrest Gump, Tombstone, The Siege, and Being John Malkovich. Key films: Fight Club, Being John Malkovich, Forrest Gump, He Got Game, The Matrix, Pulp Fiction, Titanic, and Goodfellas. Why it's number 3. It's a beloved decade for film, really. A lot of game changers in there. There's the whole Y2K thing going on towards the end of the decade. 1999, incredible year for film, arguably the best. I'd say it's up there. The whole political doomsday vibe of the decade, particularly at the end of the decade, was interesting, I think. Number 2, 2nd best decade in the history of film, the 1970s. Best film from the 70s, Camera Buff, from 1979, directed by Krzysztof Kieslowski. 70s reviews in the Reviewed by Decade series, Superman and the Outlaw Josie Wales. Key films: The Duelists, Ridley Scott, underrated, good film that one. Camera Buff, Taxi Driver, say no more, Carrie, Halloween, The Godfather 1 and 2, and Star Wars A New Hope. Talk about game changers. Why it's number 2. The prestige of the decade. I mean, a lot of people would put it at number 1. I have it at number 2. There was a lot of auteurs around at that time: Scorsese, Spielberg, De Palma, Howard, big names. I mean, Ridley Scott's not really an auteur, but he sort of, really blew up at that time initially. It was a golden Hollywood period with directors I just mentioned, particularly Spielberg and Scorsese, in the mainstream. And the 70s was a blueprint to those who followed, and many to this day. So we get to number 1. The best decade in the history of cinema, in my humble opinion, is the 2000s. The best film being As You Like It from 2006, directed by Kenneth Branagh. 2000s reviews in the Reviewed by Decade series, Showtime, Hollywood Homicide, 300, and Sunshine. That last one, Danny Boyle, Sunshine, epic. Key films: Donnie Darko, Southland Tales, The Box, As You Like It, The Wrestler. By the way, As You Like It's my favourite film overall of all time. Requiem for a Dream, and 1408. Probably my favourite horror film, 1408. Why the 2000s? I've put it at number 1. Why? Comes down to quality of films, really. Probably also my most seen decade for film. I've seen the most movies that I've seen in my life from that decade. Helps. Not the only reason, but part of it, I think. There was a boom period after 9/11 where how events shape cinema as well as society as a whole. But I think you look back at events like that and, it paid off. It really paid off in a cinematic sense in terms of influence, and, people were inspired after that. A lot of people say that's what art is to help you get through the bad things. And also, so the 2000s, all 3 of Richard Kelly's films came out in that decade, and my favourite director, writer of all time is Richard Kelly, e.g. Donnie Darko, Southland Tales, The Box. So that concludes this video. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for all those who read the reviews as well for the Reviewed by Decade series. Hope you all enjoyed it. and watch the videos, some of the videos I did for them as well. Feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me via links in the description below. I hope you enjoyed that audio and visual stimulation. With that, I say tie, meaning take it easy.